To answer our question from last episode, yes, you can buy Revive at this point. Thank goodness. We can also get Super Repels. So we're going to just do that now. Beautiful. Alright, so I've already healed again between episodes, just so you don't have to watch that happen. We can keep plodding on. You may also have noticed that I did have to update the banner at the bottom there, because we do have a Cherim now, so that needed to be updated. We want to come over here and have some major lag, apparently. That's not why I came over here. I'm taking a rest. If I were a bird Pokemon, it would be a Roost. You should rest up too. We get the Roost Tm. Really good if you can use it. It's recover for flying types, but if you are a flying type, you lose your flying type for the turn that you used Roost on. So let's say I'm a Staravia, normal flying. I use Roost. I would then be a normal type. But that then means, let's say I'm up against, a Golem that uses Earthquake. Earthquake would hit in that scenario. So, not always perfect, but it's interesting. It's a good move overall. We're going to Route 215. Now, Route 215's shtick is that it's raining. And it rains constantly. We'll keep grapes up front. I was humming and hawing for a minute there. Yeah, it will always rain on this route. I'm a treasure hunter. Today, the loot is a victory for you. From you. Can't say the word from. It's going to be a good episode when you can't say a four-letter word. Bronzor was not the Pokemon I thought you started with, but this is a good example of how the rain does change the dynamics of this route. Do you remember, was it last episode or the episode before? We talked about how Bronzor, depending on its ability, can have one weakness to ground, or it can have a weakness to fire, but it won't have a weakness to both because of the abilities it gets to choose between. I'm just going to stay in battle while I talk, because Bronzor's not going to be able to do anything to me, so it really doesn't matter that I'm asleep, and I'm just going to slowly take its health away anyway. So we're just going to sit in place. So yes, so how the rain works for anybody that doesn't really know anything about Pokemon, which is fine. Welcome to videos about, Pokemon Platinum. Arguably the best Pokemon game of the lot, in my opinion. Rain does a few things. So, first of all, as you would expect, Water-type moves get a bonus of 50%. They do 1.5 times more damage. Conversely, Fire-type moves do 50% less damage. Combos really well with Bronzor in that case, because it can run Levitate and still then effectively not take super effective damage from fire. So that's pretty good. Other things do change. So moves like Synthesis or Morning Sun, they're recovery moves that recover more or less depending on your health stat. I cannot believe it hit me with Hypnosis again. So a move like Synthesis usually will heal 50% of your maximum health. It will not heal that much in the rain. That's actually the case for other weather effects too, like Hail and Sandstorm, all of which impact the ability to have that move work. Sun does the opposite, it makes it better. But other things that rain does, it obviously activates certain abilities, so things like Swift Swim. A Pokemon with that ability will double its speed when it's raining. It will make Thunder, which is usually a 70% accurate move, become a 100% accurate move. And it will also halve the power of the move Solar Beam. So it does do a lot of different things. Can I wake up now? Oh, still confused. I forgot about that. Yeah, we're going to hit ourselves in confusion. That doesn't matter. Iron Defense is only going to raise physical defense, and we're not playing that game, so that'll be fine. But yeah, rain really changed a lot, and it changed so much in Generation 5 because certain Pokemon had the capacity of producing permanent rain. Thank you, Politoed. that the entire overused metagame revolved around weather and practically nothing else. I can't win. You're too strong for me to win. It's why if you're ever going to want to get into like retro competitive Pokemon, I don't really recommend going for Generation 5 overuse as your very first look, because it's so dominated by weather that pretty much no other playstyle can work in that tier. At least, again, in my opinion. I didn't play a huge amount competitively after Generation 5, but I know a very, now that people have the capacity to do it, a very popular choice is in Generation 3. Any tier realistically beneath overused, because there's such a variety of Pokemon that can be used. There's a very good balance there. Power creep hadn't happened to such a ludicrous degree that it just feels... Nowadays, it kind of just feels like the Pokemon that attacks first wins. So it feels almost as if it was, you know, Ubers. I don't really like that. Having said that, nobody likes to play a 5-hour game of Stall. So there's a balancing act. Speaking of balancing act, we just got a TM for Payback. If you go second, it does twice as much. And in Generation 4, one really cool thing about Payback, which they took away, and I will still to this day don't understand why. It's only to do with the action. So let's say you're going to use Payback, but the opposing trainer switches their Pokemon. You still get double power because you're acting second. And I thought that was a really cool way of trying to predict a switch in a more passive way than, say, Pursuit, where you would damage the Pokemon on the way out. Payback punishes the Pokemon that comes in. And I thought that was a nice balance. Naturally, because I like it, that's why we don't have nice things anymore, right? Oh, sad. We do have Cut. We could go with the top right route, but I want to take this trainer. Check the sharpness of my fighting Pokemon's moves. Hi, Derek. How are you doing? You look pretty angsty. And we have a Krogunk. You're going to see a lot of these in the near future, so I hope you like it. We're going to reduce its attack. Thank you. And we're just going to use Spark. Krogunk's a poison fighting type. 4 times weak to Psychic as a result. However, I didn't want to switch Cheese in. It's just not worth it. Revenge is going to hurt, though. Revenge is similar to Payback. But rather than being you going second necessarily, you do double damage. It has negative priority, so you'll almost always go second. But if you take damage, it does double back. Not going to be a commonly seen move competitively, if ever. I don't remember ever seeing anybody run that, but at least it's interesting in game. So let's cut this tree down now that we've beaten up that black belt. Wonderful. And we get to walk straight into another one. Hooray! You come along with your heart pounding. You think you can win like that? Yeah. I like to think he's karate chopping the Pokeball out of your hand. And speaking of karate chop, matchup. I know, that was seamless. Had to have a little cough there. Thank goodness that microphones have mute buttons on them. Hopefully you didn't hear me going all crab-handed and mashing my hand all over the mic to hit the button. I always forget in OBS there's a mute button. You see the button, you know, I've got a Yeti because pretty much everybody from back in the day had a Yeti as a microphone. This one is probably, I think how old it would be. Old enough that I don't remember. So we're talking more than a decade old. Probably something closer to 12 years old. Still works too. Not being sponsored by Blue or anything, but I'll always say that it has been very, very resilient. If Maple faints, it's not a big deal. We'll just stay in. Yep, there's the karate chop that I aforementioned. Sorry, bud. The rain does continue to fall. Viola should be able to take this out in one hit from here. I feel bad for this thing. It's never going to evolve, is it? With how many times it's been wiped out. Maybe at some point, eh? That's the dream. We do get a level up anyway. Hooray! Level 25. Rubbish level up. What a surprise. I think this guy needs some talking to. 3 of the exact same Pokemon. He's not unique in that regard, not by any stretch. A lot of trainers use the same Pokemon over and over and over again. I mean, we've already dealt with 6 Magikarp guy. But it can't just be me that thinks that that's pretty lazy. I mean, it's not like he's doing it Mirror B style. Speaking of GameCube Pokemon games from last episode, where he just has an absolute obsession with Ludicolo, and I don't blame him. Ludicolo is awesome. If I lose here, I wouldn't stand a chance at the Battle Frontier. Not against those hardcore pros, I wouldn't. This is true. He's protecting the fist plate, increases the fighting type attack bonus, which boy isn't a huge surprise. 2 make matter and 3 make spirit, shaping the world. Much like Bob the Builder, he shapes the world too. How many of you watched that? I don't know how common that was on the west side of the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm a bit old to have been in the prime seat as a kid for that. But I have seen so many episodes of Bob's... I was going to say Bob's Burgers, I've seen that too. Bob the Builder passively, it's just been on the background while younger family members watched it. The theme song is one of the catchiest songs I've heard in television, and I'm not exactly a television buff. You'll have to tell me what you think the most catchy television song or advert is. Yeah, let me know. I'm interested. Especially because when you have people from all around the world that may be watching stuff on YouTube, I should hopefully get a variety of answers. Fingers crossed, I appreciate it in advance. Anyway, we're ploughing through this route. I'm going to cut down this tree yet again. Yeah, having cut here is very, very nice. It does speed the route up if you're looking just for time saves. But I just like the fact that there are a couple, for example down here, of secrets you can't get without cut. I do look back a bit and think this was actually quite a lazy way of hiding items. It's not as if, you know, it's out of sight and you'd really have to go digging for it. It's more just, did you show up with the move that you need? So I can see why Pokemon is slowly starting to veer away from some of that. But you got to replace that with content and puzzles, not just nothing. And we're getting a lot of nothing, I feel, lately. Well, we might as well take this Marill out. I mean, it's already wasted enough of our time making us see the rain animation. I don't know what EV a Marill gives. Pretty sure its health and its defense stats are all the same, so I'm not sure what it gives. Anyway, that's not giving a lot now, it's toast. I don't know what to put up front. So, Kricketune is an interesting choice against fighting types, because in-game, most of them don't have a huge amount of type coverage. However, competitively, a lot of fighting types will carry rock moves, which, needless to say, our bug type wouldn't like. But fighting is weak on bug, and bug is weak on fighting. Bug is also weak on poison, so this is pretty much the worst Pokemon we could see in terms of our capacity to do damage. Although it's nicely just, you're going to use Taunt. Taunt just forces you to use attacking moves. I can assure you that is all we were ever going to be doing. We were not going to be putting this to sleep. Not with a 55% accurate move. That is in a pinch only. Still raining, didn't you know? And yes, conveniently for us, this Pokemon, Meditite, is a psychic fighting type, so it does not resist bug. And much like his Krogunk brethren, just is not going to attack us. Pretty crazy that we've run into 2 Pokemon that were faster than too, although it is going to waste our turn with Detect. We knew we couldn't have everything our way. At least it didn't spam it. Generation 3 Pelipper would seemingly use Protect every single turn. It didn't seem to matter. If it knew that move, it wanted to use it seemingly nigh on every turn. It's amazing what kind of it gets ingrained over time. This one might be a contender for Bide, but I'm just going to use Cut. I suspect this is going to be a 3-hit KO. Oh, it might not even be. Might be a 4. Okay. Well, now that I've seen that, we are going to want to use Bide. Otherwise, we are going to be here forever. Alright, let's use Bide. And I'm going to take a drink. And it will probably just use Foresight the entire time now, because that's just how this rolls. Come on, you're going to do any attack. That's not exactly the one I was looking for. Are we going to unrelease... Or unrelease? Are we going to release our energy next turn? Yeah, unleashed. Not unrelease. I could have said unleashed or release. Both would have been accurate, and I picked neither. And needless to say, it uses Seismic Toss right afterwards. And we have the perfect amount of health to get KO'd by that. I don't have enough patience, so we're just going to take in Riolu and take it out. Kricketune, you had one opportunity to prove that you weren't completely useless and you failed. Oh dear, I was just expecting to get hit by a critical hit as I switched in, because Riolu just... I don't know. It does dish out a few critical hits, so it's not purely a one-way street, but it seems to receive an obnoxiously high number of them. I don't know if that's just me or what, but it was just my interpretation. I should be lighter by the amount of sweat I just shed. Gross. That is actually rain. So much rain on this route, it never stops. Go on then, Scramble. I don't think... Yeah, jogging is good for you, but you have to make sure you're not overdoing it. He's not going to battle me. Wrong time of day. I feel like these guys have psychic types, so Scramble would be a pretty bad choice. But we are going to do it as a double battle. We could talk to them individually and just have 2 single battles, but what's the fun in that? I'll take on anyone. It can only make me stronger. Or it can kill you. I'm taking the Valstone Gym Challenge, but first... Dun dun dun! Battle time! Dennis and Mayer. I was 100% wrong which Pokemon I thought you had, though. Wow. Could I have been much more wrong? There's not a psychic type between them. In fact, one of them's weak to it. This is why I didn't do too much homework, though, prior to playing this again, because what's the fun in playing a game you know absolutely like the back of your hand? Both of these moves target our cells. So I'm going to use Growth the first turn. Hope that we take Rosalia out with great, with Cheese's confusion. Assuming we don't die first. Okay, yeah, that did nothing. So the next turn we can use Petal Dance and we might be able to one-shot Gligar. Oh, we didn't... Well... I guess it could be worse, because even if we use Petal Dance now and it hits Rosalia, we'll surely take it out at that point. I know it's probably Rosalia, but I've always said Rosalia. Old habits die hard. Yeah, we'll do that and use Petal Dance. Who are we going to hit? We are going to hit Gligar. Okay. In its weird colour that makes it look shiny, but it isn't. Jeez, you're level 29! An okay, but not amazing level up. This is what our level ups are going to look like now as Cherry, and this is actually quite accurate. So it's going to get reasonably good health, but not amazing. It's going to get some defense, some special attack, some speed, and then its other 2 stats are going to stink. That's a pretty fair reflection of its base stat distribution. It's about as good as most good Pokemon's middle evolutions if they're a 3-stage. We're going to struggle late game. Drifblim, kind of terrifying for us, given it is a ghost flying type. And Ralts, not terrifying at all. Is Drifblim going to know Ominous Wind by this point? Because if it does, it might take Cheese out. Just in case, I'm going to put Scramble in. And fingers crossed, Petal Dance just takes Ralts out, so we're 2-on-1. Toxic Spikes having gone down is mildly inconvenient, but given how many hit points we have, not a big deal. Hey, it's almost as if I do remember some things. Don't remember everything, but I do remember some things. So Scramble's poisoned because Rosalia used Toxic Spikes. I forgot how long this fight goes for. Wow, there's so much going on here. You're just going to sit and use Counter. I do want to use Leech Seed on Drifblim. It has an enormous base stat for health. So we will heal gigantic quantities of hit points. Gust is only 40 base power. So that wasn't that bad. It did about the same amount that Feint Attack did. Scramble's getting stomped, so as long as it doesn't flinch. Hey! Scramble's turning into like our most resilient Pokemon somehow. That was amazing. One-shot Lickitung. Still raining. That's it, the rain never stops. I just wish it would just show like a rain icon, like a sprinkling in the corner, so you didn't have to listen to it every turn. It might, it's a happiness evolution, so I'm going to get it out of there. If Virtue bites the dust, it's not a disaster. And we'll use Petal Dance again. We've got a 50-50, we're going to hit ourselves in confusion anyway, but... Drifblim is on a timer purely and simply... Oh, well, we broke ourselves out of confusion. Yeah, purely and simply because Leech Seed. So as long as Grapes doesn't kick the bucket, every turn it's going to be losing health. We kind of expected this to happen, Cricketune. I'm not that sorry, but I'm kind of sorry just for you, I guess, maybe. It's feeling sorry for itself, I should say. Me, yeah. Maybe not so much. When you're that type of Pokemon, you know what your hand's going to be drawn to look like. It's just the way it be. Every Pokemon that I've got left alive, other than Scramble, is weak to one of Drifblim's same type attack bonus moves. And I'm not convinced that Cheese is going to outspeed, but Cheese, you may notice, did not get poisoned because of Levitate. I think we're going to get outsped. However, Grapes is pretty much on a one-man mission, seemingly, in this battle. Oh, my word. We got hit by Aftermath, Drifblim's ability, but yeah, Grapes carried the whole side there. With just a little bit of interference in a positive way from Scramble. Weasel, get out of here. We don't want you. That's why I didn't switch. I was pretty sure it would have Pursuit. And this is going to be like 3 times overkill. This is going to be a massive overkill. Weasel's special defense is terrible. It's weak to grass. It's a 90 base power move. It wrecked face. You won and I lost, but both of us gained something from this. My confidence is crushed. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten. Not only are these guys not psychic type users, but they have 3 Pokemon each. Other than Dude with all the Magikarps, this is the first battle with trainers where it's a full 6-on-6 potentially. And honestly, does Magikarp guy even count? He's got Magikarps. Who cares? Anyway, we'll be able to go into Veilstone City. We're going to do that next time. I'm going to go think about getting some barbecue. I'm going to go deal with that. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, let me know again. Comment down below. Like and subscribe if you want to. All the generic stuff. You take care. Have a good one. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.